Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday on Life of Pri. I am heading out this bright and early morning, but not to the field. Instead, I'm heading to a greenhouse, which is used by one of our postdocs, and he's going to let me borrow space because my own greenhouse is almost full to do a seed increase. So let's go. Welcome to Josh's greenhouse. Those trays there that are empty is where I will be planting my seeds, and behind it you can see Josh's own seed increases. So what's first? Okay, so the next step is to fill our cones with soil. And we have this nice little cover so the soil as we fill these don't get stuck in between. It just goes on like that. Take our shovel and start to fill. Okay, I have filled all of my cones with soil. Time to bring them back inside. Okay, I have put my labels where I want them, and now I need to wet the soil before I put the seeds in. Once the seeds are in, I will then fill the trays with water. Because the soil is moist now, I'm able to easily make holes in the soil for the seeds. And I will just plop them in here and then cover them. Make them wet a little bit again, and they should germinate and be happy. And then I take the seeds, right, and just pop them in. So the plants are now ready to start growing. Trays are filled with water, seeds are covered, everything's labeled. They should be happy. Fun fact though, that in this greenhouse, Josh's stuff is not actually wheat, though it really does look like it, doesn't it? This is actually triticale, which is a hybrid between wheat and rye. It has much higher yields, but it doesn't make quite as good of bread, which is why we don't use it. But he is trying to breed it, right? So it becomes more like wheat and it's good for bread with still really high yields. So yeah, that is triticale. So what's next? Well, I've actually driven off to my greenhouse and I got the best parking spot. You can't tell, but the tree's really cool. Maybe I'll show it later. But I have to go to my own greenhouse to harvest a few plants, and I'll do a quick blurb of that. And this here is my greenhouse. This whitewash on the front is used to keep it cool in the summer because it can get hot. Anyway, these are my babies, and the ones we are going to focus on today are here in the back, and they're ready to be harvested. Now, here is the lucky plant number 1 that I will harvest. As you can tell, it is nice and gold, and I want the spikes on top. To harvest is pretty simple. I take a pair of scissors, and I am going to cut the spikes off. Once I cut the spikes off, I will then trim them by trimming off the awns, and they will fit into the bags a lot easier. And each bag is labeled, and I will then also include the tag from the plant in the bag, just in case. So how can you tell if a plant is actually ready to be harvested? Well, it does look ready, right, by the golden color. But what about the seeds? So we open up the spikelet here and find the seed, which you can see right here. Yep, there's the seed. And is it hard yet? They have different stages, and so I'm going to press against this one and see if I make an indent. I cannot make an indent, so I would say that it is ready. Another way to tell is by actually putting it in your mouth and seeing how hard it is to chew, which I will do here. And I'm pressing down on it. It's really hard. This plant's definitely ready, so let's harvest. Once I've harvested everything that I need, I take all the leftover plants or empty pots and discard them, which you can see here, empty pots, discarded plants. I will take these to the cleaning station and be on my way. So with the greenhouse work done, what's next? Well, I have a lab meeting at 1 p.m. And why did I bring that up? Well, because for like 3.5 years, my labs never had lab meetings, ever. It just wasn't a thing. Until 3 weeks ago, our PI, Dr. Dubkovsky, said, hey, we're having lab meetings. 2 people are going to present each week. Here's the schedule. Let's go. And I was week 2, so that was fun. But to be honest, I do think these weekly lab meetings are going to be a good thing for our lab because there's so many people, and each week now I get to see their faces and learn more about what else is going on in the lab besides just my little lab bench. Okay, time for my lab meeting, and I think I'm going to sign off here today. The video is getting long again, and So I will see you all tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed a look at the greenhouses.